Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I have a flip through today for you of my latest journal. This is Ester, Reid, Yet Speaking. It's a lovely, lovely book from 1896, and it is a gorgeous pansy book cover, and I have played with this a whole lot. So the first thing I needed to do with this book was give it a new spine. I did a video about how I did that. If you missed it, you can check it out. It was just a couple days ago. And so I got started just using the color scheme here with this cover, and I thought it would be nice to, use a beautiful piece of an embroidered napkin on the spine. So I created the new spine, which is essentially 1 3/4 inches, and then I added this embroidery here. I stained this antique napkin, and I did some fun painty splotches with some paint that I mixed myself. Here on the back I added this label. This spine is stitched in. We have some leafy and zigzag stitches here. Then on the front cover I felt like I wanted to kind of dress it up a little bit with these beautiful pansies, so I made some of my own millinery style flowers. I'll be doing a tutorial for my Patreon on that very soon, and I've embroidered here in the center, and I've embroidered by hand around the edges just for a little more decoration. And then also I've stitched with the sewing machine in a zigzag around and added gold eyelets and this beautiful sort of dark rose gold mauvey colored seam binding. So let's jump into this book. It is 6 signatures, and it is 196 pages. I did the inside. The reason that I stitched around the edge is the inside is actually this lovely blue fabric that I've kind of inky stained and played with, and then I also used the other leftover bits of that beautiful napkin on the spine, or doily really, and I used it as the pockets here on the inside. So I'll show you kind of the profile of the inside. So over here you'll see there's another pocket and some things going on that I'll talk about toward the end. But we can jump on into this book. So the first page of Ester, Reid, Yet Speaking by Pansy. I've added this pansy wreath here and done some stitching on this side. I really wanted to use this old page, but I really wanted to reinforce it. So it's been taped, it's been stitched, and then on this edge, to protect this edge, I've also added some vintage pillowcase here. I just thought it was a really pretty pattern. And the back side is blank. It did not have the copyright date, unfortunately, but that's just the reality with some old books. This is hand-dyed paper and a tab that I stitched on. Left lots of long, fun threads. I think that's kind of nice. This is a calendar page image of this beautiful swan just swimming on this violet lake. And then we have these little birds here on the back of the calendar. And here's the original book spine. It was so beautiful, and I wanted to keep it, but I turned it into like a little bookmark journaling card, so it's there for you. I didn't get rid of it. You can't lose those things. They're too pretty. Then here we have a pocket with a violet butterfly on this purple construction paper. And this is just a little piece of cabbage dyed paper with a little label there. This is from a beautiful book called Magic Slippers, and I've used a few pages of it in this book. I just really felt like the aesthetic matched quite well to the book. Sort of soft tones, some botanicals, and here we have a vintage invoice from Pratt Food Co. from 1935. And it's this pretty pink, and then some this is indigo dyed paper. This little bird here. And this beautiful page. This is from the Graphics Fairy. And then this pansies label here, and then inside of it, it's like a belly band. It's just this fun little handwritten document. It's like a little note, little names note, and you can journal on the back of it. It's like a kind of like a little tally or a ledger or something. Then a little label there. Some pretty botanicals. Then this pocket is a fun double pocket. So we have a side tuck with these pretty yellow flowers. And this is an old Reader's Digest mailing slip that I turned into a pocket. This tag has 4 folds, like so. And so it just folds up. Oops. Fold it correctly here. There we go. And then it goes in here. And then this is an authentic vintage postcard. It says True Love, and she has a pansy bonnet, and it's gold and floral, and it's so pretty. It's embossed. I thought it was perfect for this book because the pansy bonnet. So on back, it is written on. It was it was sent in 1910. It says, Dear E, and I will leave the rest of that you can read yourself. It was sent to Miss Emma Seville. So that goes in there. This is a little playing card vintage on the gold backing from the box on the back side of a calendar page, and this pretty little journal card of this house. And this is the other side of that beautiful swan calendar page. This is like a shiny woven texture. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really nice. More hand-dyed paper. You see a little label peeking over here, and this is the only illustration from this original book, and it says, would you mind going along with me to protect me? From Ester, Reid, yet speaking. And then this is a pretty botanical page. I've stitched some coffee dyed lace down the side. Another page from that Magic Slippers book, just beautiful illustrations. Some of my dyed paper. This little pocket here has some sparrows on it and some fun trim. This is marbled paper from the papertrail.ca. And then this is a little collage tag that I made. It says, from breakfast on all through the day, at home among my friends I stay. But every night I go abroad, afar into the land of Nod. All by myself I have to go, with none to tell me what to do, all alone beside the streams, and up the mountainsides of dreams. So that just tucks on in here. Some coffee dyed lace paper. This is some pretty paper from Koreatown in Toronto. They make their own paper. This is cabbage dyed. This is a vintage page from like an old accounting book about bills and such. This is a tag that I collaged, added, it's all made from vintage like fabric and Japanese paper. It has a William Somerset Maugham quote, as I am well aware, one can never know everything there is to be known about human nature. One can be sure only of one thing, and that is that it will never cease to have a surprise in store for you. Some of my hand-dyed paper, a John Clare poem called From Rural Evening, where rustic taste at leisure trimly weaves the rose and straggling woodbines to the eaves, and on the crowded spot that pales and close, the white and scarlet daisy rears in rows, and trailing peas in bunches training neat, perfuming evening with a luscious sweet, and sunflowers planted for their gilded show that scale the window's lattice ere they blow, and sweet to habitants within the sheds peep through the diamond panes their golden heads. We have another poem here called Roses. Nature responds so beautifully. Roses are only once wild roses that were given an extra chance. So they bloomed out and filled themselves with colored fullness out of sheer desire to be splendid and more splendid. And that's from D.H. Lawrence. And over here from Charlotte Smith, from Swan of Bignor, the cottage garden, most for use designed, is not of beauty destitute, the vine. Mantles the little casement, and the briar drops fragrant dew among the July flowers, and pansies rayed and freaked and mottled pinks grow among balm and rosemary and rue, and honeysuckles flaunt and roses blow. And some more of my hand-dyed paper. Another of those Bill vintage pages, and some more hand-dyed paper. Another of those pages from Koreatown, and this little floral pocket here. This is a little envelope that I did sort of mixed media with a very old, like early 1800s probably, or late 1700s page, I can't recall now, from this book that I have, and it's got all these fun stamped numbers on it. Actually, no, they're not stamped. Those are from one of my Journal Together kits from some time ago. And this is a little journal card with these lost little sheep out in the woods. That just tucks inside the envelope. Some coffee dyed paper. This little tuck spot on some beautiful marbled paper from the paper trail. This is just a fun kind of mixed media journal card that I made. Of course I made it. I made all of this. Some pink hand dyed paper. This is from a Vintage Ideals magazine, How Little It Costs by Mary D. Brine. How little it costs if we give it a thought to make happy some heart each day. Just one kind word or a tender smile as we go on our daily way. Perchance a look will suffice to clear the cloud from a neighbor's face, and the press of a hand in sympathy a sorrowful tear efface. One walks in sunlight, another goes, all weary in the shade. One treads a path that is fair and smooth, another must pray for aid. It costs so little, I wonder why we give it so little thought. A smile, kind words, a glance, a touch, what magic with them is wrought. And then some lovely flowers back here. This is a Trisha Romance painting, and I've added this little postcard snippet here. Another pocket I created that actually goes onto the other side of the page from the rest of that beautiful doily that's on the cover. And then this is a tag that I made some time ago. So it is made with my Rust and Eco printed fabric, cotton. I've done some stitching, there's some lace on here, and there's a little mini cabinet card that's been braided on there. And then at the top we have a couple little charms, a key and a leaf, and those just kind of hang out of the journal and add a little bit more interest as they just kind of hang out there. We have a little book spine tab and some coffee dyed paper, a vintage sunflower playing card on this green paper with this handmade paper from the paper trail, this violet color. A little label with a couple beautiful Victorian ladies here. This is from the Magic Slippers book, and it has these gorgeous swans. It's from the Tale of Swanhilda, and then another pretty book page from the same book. This is some cabbage dyed paper. This is just a beautiful illustration from a botanical book that I have about roses. More cabbage dyed paper, little marble paper here on this children's writing paper. It's a flip out, and then on the back we have more of Swanhilda. Beautiful illustration, isn't that amazing? And then this is a collaged, sort of like a pockety foldery thing that I made, and I've stitched on some really fun stretchy kind of crinoline lace here, and then you flip that open, we have green paper to write on, and then this interesting old diagram and some labels, and inside we have a little notebook just with some fun little papers, mostly botanical, and that just tucks right in here, and you've got a little thumb hole there, so it's really easy to, you know, navigate getting this in and out. Just pops right in there and flips in there. And then on this side you have some of the crinoline lace there, and I folded it over so it would kind of stick out a little like a tab. And then we have more coffee dyed paper with lacy pattern at the other side of that pocket, and this journal card inside. The other side of the Trisha Romance painting, and there are a few of her pages from a book about Trisha Romance. I felt like her aesthetic really fit this book well. Some wallpaper, digital from the Graphics Fairy, as is this fun little sort of fairy godmother here. And then some more hand-dyed paper. more of that vintage bills book, accounting book. And this is a fabric bound kind of little tab, so it has two sides. So on this side we've got this fun paper here. You'll see that it's stitched closed. It's because it's a pocket on the other side, but I've added a little tab here with this little tag for writing. And you flip it over and we have this closure that's actually magnetic, and inside of it we have this little journal card, so that tucks on in there and you have that little magnetic closure. And then this is just a little sort of a overview of a beautiful garden on some coffee dyed lace paper. This is some vintage wallpaper in this like Wedgwood style print. Then we have this pocket over here, and then this is a journal tag made from a vintage card box in that beautiful gold, and it says walk into the garden, and this little hole, there's a couple little birds in there, so that just tucks in here. Some tiny graph paper with a little rose label, and just a beautiful, that's some hops, some what is it called, botanical paper. And then a little tabby pocket here made with these little tags, and then this little label here. And then this is an Amity Bloom pocket tag, and I have laminated this leaf, and it's in here just as a fun little souvenir. A bit of inspiration. Then over here we have a vintage playing card with some birds on it here. And then this is from a very old German children's book. And we have these cats here that are playing with some paints and paint brushes. And then this little tab, it actually has cards on it, little cards, and it's a cluster tab. And then this is a Stamperia paper. It says art is the essence of beauty. And then we have this little kind of notepad here. So it's made with just one of those Victorian greetings. And then it's with the lily of the valley. I've eyeletted through it. This is some hand-dyed fabric. And then just some fun little papers. Oh yeah, and then this is this doesn't belong here. I had it in that pocket as a bookmark while I was putting this together. And then this Wedgwood wallpaper. And some coffee dyed lace paper. The other side of that fabric bound pocket has this, it's made from this beautiful like velvety scrapbook paper, and then I've added this beautiful floral here, and it has a little thumb tab there, and it's a coffee dyed collage inside for you to write on, and then you just tuck it right back in the tab. And on this side we have this little butterfly tag that holds on to this little journal card of these yellow ladies, and this blue pumpkin on the old Bill's paper holds on to this children's illustration that we have this girl collecting water outside of this interesting cabin with a sheep, and there's some little fairies over here, and these are some pink maple seeds. They're silk from my collection of botanical things. More of the Bill paper and pink dyed paper. Both of these pages, and I've stitched some lace down the side. More hand-dyed paper, botanical paper. You'll see this pocket wraps around for a little color, and then we have this iris tag in here. Some of my hand-dyed paper. This poem is called Lonesome. Lonesome all alone, listens for the phone, listens for a call, anyone at all, listens for a ring, saying anything. Lonesome all alone, listens for the phone. And it has this lovely armchair kind of illustration. And this poem is called, actually, I don't know what it's called. It doesn't have a title, but it says it's tough being short. Of course, your father tells you not to worry, but everyone else is giant and you're just the way you were. And this stupid guy says, hey, shorty, where'd you get the long pants? Or some smart beanpole asks how it feels to be so close to the ants, and the school nurse says to tell her again how tall you are when you've already told her. My mother says there's really no hurry and I'll grow soon enough, but it's tough being short. I wonder if Napoleon got the same old stuff. And this is from a book about like girls and their experiences growing up. It's a really fun book of verse. And then some coffee dyed lined paper. More of that Wedgwood wallpaper with these pretty little birds here. And then this is a pocket with this lady stitched on. And this tag is also from that fun calendar. That just tucks in there. And this is a little piece of handmade marbled paper from the papertrail.ca. And then more of that Wedgwood wallpaper with this little clock cutout. And then I made this cabinet card here. The image inside is from a 1964 yearbook from Guelph, Ontario. More cabbage dyed lined paper, or sorry, coffee dyed. And another of the verses from that sort of growing up book. To try to say it, to put it into words, to make it come out of my mouth happens slowly. There, I have said it. Only one small say, but it is said. You mean if I'd keep my room clean and never stuff things under the bed and hang up my jacket and get straight A's and be polite and work hard and never get into trouble, I could someday grow up to be president? Forget it. And I just felt like this particular set of verses, it was kind of nice because I feel like it goes with Ester Reid yet speaking. It could be the story of like a girl kind of coming of age, figuring out who she is. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like thoughts like this, sort of themes that are underlying themes just kind of like roll into my head as I'm working on a book like this. More of my hand-dyed paper and this botanical page with a label up here. This is a really lovely little fairy. She's a maple wing fairy. So see those maple seeds that are stitched on here? They're the same as her wings. And inside we have this little ice cream wholesale and retail paper. More of my hand-dyed paper. This little pocket down here that I've kind of collaged and put together. And this little tag goes inside for some writing space. This is a Tim Holtz image, a little photo that I just felt like the pinks kind of picked up. It was nice. Just a couple beautiful papers. This is a moth that is on some fun papers, book page, and all stitched around to make this pocket. And then this is a little hand-dyed index card. And I've put this violet label on the front. It's a Violet Candy antique label. Digital, not authentic. And then this is a little tab on this brown craft paper. Hand-dyed paper with a little paper ruffle down the side. A piece of old antique sellotape and a label that have been collaged on this fun page. And this is another Trisha Romance painting, this cat and the laundry basket on the porch. And I added these two folks from my 1964 yearbook. I felt like they could be sitting on a couple of chairs in front of their home. More of that Wedgwood style wallpaper. This little pocket here has a book spine tab, and inside of it is just this pretty paper, this gardeny theme, very pretty. Oops, wrong way. And some of my hand-dyed paper, more of the Koreatown paper. This is a gravestone rubbing with crayon, just so beautiful. I do these rubbings with my kids in the spring and summer. It's about time to do them again. More Koreatown paper and cabbage dyed Wedgwood wallpaper. More of the Trisha Romance with my dream wraparound porch, the laundry line. Just some more hand-dyed paper. This little rose pocket. This is from a very old, like, antique Mother Goose book from like the late 1800s. It was like those first plasticized kind of pages. So like it's that woven texture. Like I think, let me see, it's 1901, that book, and this little one running with this pig. And then this little tree belly band. And this is a sealed chalk pastel botanical image. And I added this sort of barn-like frame around it. And that just tucks in there. It's a tag for writing. And then we have this little tuck spot here, and I made this journal card with an image from my 1964 yearbook that I was playing with, and then just a little tab up here and some lace, and it's coffee dyed paper on back. So that tucks in here. And then very simple at the end here, got a bit of inking and fun on this fabric. And then I've added a vintage playing card, one of these birds, and then my seal here. And all I need to do is add my signature and the date, which I'll do after the video. And then another of the little pockets and this little frog journal card. So that is the end of Ester, Reid, Yet Speaking. This book was a lot of work because I did a lot of different kind of things with it. I've just been kind of puttering along on it, and I really love how it's come together. If you're interested, this book will be posted, if you're seeing this video, first to my Patreon and then to Etsy. If you're seeing this on YouTube, that means that if it is going to Etsy, it's there now. The best place to follow me to see what journals I do post or other things that I have, like yarn, digitals, paper, etc., is to follow me on Etsy. You'll notice my postings there. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a really great day. Bye for now.